You see that rabbit out there, T-Rex? Go get that rabbit. Steve, you help. Come on. Go get that rabbit. Get that rabbit. Good boys. 60 degrees at 7:12 on Sunday, June 16th. It's Father's Day. Thinking of our dads today, Doug and all my brothers and sisters. This was Dad's barometer here the year after he died. The squall on Christmas morning sent the needle down to 29.52, and I've left it there, but the barometer's way up there today, 30.2. It says fair. And Doug Kent gave me this tide clock, one like your dad, Don Kent, might have used. It's a Downeaster Cape Cod. Did your dad make tide clocks? Anyhow, it's Father's Day beauty here in the Northeast. The sunshine, sinking air. You smell that? Smell diesel. Diesel boats have been going by all morning. And when you have high pressure and an inversion, the exhaust goes up and levels off at the top of the inversion. And that's why you can smell the emissions on a morning like this with high barometer cold. High barometer cold means the air mostly decouples at night and settles in the cool air into the valleys. But we did not decouple the air mass here near Boston. We kept the breeze coming in from the north, and when you have the breeze at night, that actually keeps you a little warmer when you have high pressure. But away from the cities and the ocean where the air did decouple, record cold temperatures this morning. I see 32 in Whitefield, New Hampshire on the map, temperature map at 6 a.m. So a few record low temperatures today. That's not going to last long, is it? Also some record cold in the northwest. That is going to last. There's a wholesale change happening in the weather pattern after a couple of weeks of upper level low followed by this nice surface cold high. We're going to see this high go south of us, and we're going to have a heat wave coming in for many days. You look at the national map of advisories, watches, and warnings. It's colorful, isn't it? There's heat in Texas. It's a little severe storm watch there left in eastern North Dakota. West and north of that, there's frost and freeze in much of northern Nevada, and winter weather advisories and winter storm watches in Montana and Idaho. And then the red here in the Northeast, those are excessive heat watches. That means the heat's going to turn on late tomorrow and into Tuesday. Yesterday on Mount Washington, we did get down to 32 degrees, not a record. The record, I think, was in the lower 20s. And there, this morning, the temperature on top of Mount Washington has already begun to rise. Last night it was 32, this morning it was 41. So we are beginning the warm air advection on the west and north side of this high pressure. That we're still in the cold air advection here. Anyhow, the view from Wildcat, still got a couple of patches of snow left there on this side of Mount Washington. Those will probably be gone within a week, would be my guess. It's all about what's the wind going to do. Today the wind is going to go light and probably come on shore here in Boston as the high goes right over us. Very little wind inland. Haven't been paying a lot of attention to sports, but appears the first place Yankees were defeated by what? The fourth place Red Sox over at Fenway yesterday. Another game today. Should be gorgeous. Sunburn weather. Sunburn factor about a 10 out of 10. Temperature will be in the 70s, low 80s inland. Nice recovery from near record cold. And then all eyes are on the heat. I'm going to do a little verification before that, though. All that rain in Florida has finally wound down, and those forecasts of more than 15 inches of rain verified. North central Florida near Orlando, 5 to 10 inches of rain. You move south there, more like 12 to 18 inches, 17 inches in Naples, close to 17 also in Miami, and even Key Largo picked up a foot of rain. And so, you know, they say it's going to be a very tropical, very active tropical season, and that's the first indication. Although that had a lot to do with the cooler air coming down from the north. And let's go to the Gulf of Mexico, see the hash mark there. One to the east of Florida. There's going to be another low forming east of Florida on this old front. I don't think that's a concern. But in western Gulf of Mexico, there's that orange hash, 60% possibility of a tropical storm in the next 7 days. Here it is on the Euro. Does not look too focused, does it? Looks like you have a storm trying to form and then kind of breaking into pieces. One part going into Mexico, another part for Texas. Either way, a lot of rain and tropical energy in the Gulf of Mexico that is not coming toward New England. So let's now go New England focus. I'm going to do the Boston graphics here. The city is often where you focus on the most people being impacted by heat. And the Boston 3 to 5 day forecast shows the heat going above 90 on Tuesday, and then mid 90s Wednesday, Thursday. Summer solstice is 95 or so. I checked the record. The record I think is 98 from 1953. It's going to be close. The mean average hottest June 20, on record is 1931, when the mean temperature, high and low divided by 2, in 1931 in Boston, the mean was 87.5 degrees. Could you imagine? That happens when your dew points get well into the 70s and your nighttime lows are near 80. That doesn't look like it's going to happen in this heat wave. The weather.us has a great graphic here. You can use all the different models on one click of the mouse. You go to weather.us, put in your town in the search, and then you can go to the 3 to 5 day, you can go to the 14 day, you can go to the 10 day, you can go to the ensembles. Well, anyhow, here's all the models for the high temperature forecast in Boston for the next 10 days. And you can see they're pretty close together there in the low to mid 90s, Tuesday, Wednesday. And Thursday looks like the peak of the heat. And if you put your cursor right over it, the range is anywhere from close to 90 to close to 100 with the different models. And in Boston, I wouldn't go with the close to 100 because the wind's going to be kind of from the southwest. And that does bring cooling all the way up from the south coast, believe it or not. But you get into places like Nashua, New Hampshire, then you're talking about a possible 100 degrees on probably Wednesday and Thursday. And then if we do the same thing way out there around Sunday and Monday, now that's June 23, 24, 7 and 8 day forecast, you see there's a lot of discrepancy in the different forecasts for the high temperature, with the Euro still trying to keep us well up into the 90s, and then the other models are much cooler. One of them is even as cool as the low 70s. That's in the 9 day forecast. I'm inclined to go with the warmer. I think parts of New England are going to have a heat wave going all the way into next week. Starting Tuesday, we may have a 6 to 7 day heat wave. All right, now let's just put it all in motion. With the Euro lower 48, you have the high pressure sinking to our south, strong onshore flow from North Carolina to Florida, keep them cooler, but that'll also send humidity in off the ocean that's going to come up and around and toward New England. Meantime, that snowstorm, Arctic front, lifts out of Montana and Idaho into Canada. Severe storms on that boundary are going to be well off to our west. And then it's just sort of day after day here where the air is coming from the west-southwest, dew points near 70. It appears, though, it's dry enough air at night that we should be able to cool down to about 65 to 70, but we'll probably stay in the 70s in the cities. And then here, Friday, Thursday night and Friday, there's a little front, almost a backdoor front. I'm going to stop it here Friday. There's a high to our north, a high to our south, the hot high to our south, cooler high to the north, and a little low right over New England. Very weak. So it looks like almost a backdoor type heat-breaking front may come into Boston next Friday or so with some thunderstorms. And those storms will be big on the edge of that heat. And then that kind of lifts north again, and now we have low pressure to our north again by next Saturday, Sunday, and that'll invite the warm to hot air back in here. We talk about the thicknesses, 576 to 582. The hot air is much less dense, so the distance you have to travel from the surface of the Earth to get to 500 millibars gets a lot higher. And that's what the heat dome is all about, the heat ridge. And so when you have 582, that goes, it just says that the temperature may be about 100. Remember the rule, the thickness, 82 plus 20, 102. And the front finally does get in here, sorry. trying to visualize all this and think of how to say it properly. I really got to get myself a whiteboard or something like that so I can draw all this. And then the heat busting front probably gets here for good for all of us around Tuesday, June 25th. So we've got an extended heat wave coming at us. All right, was that enough weather? The water temperature is in the mid-60s. So the south coast will be much cooler with the southwest wind. Cape Cod and the islands, the place to be if you have a vacation this week. Oh, you don't say. I've been pretty busy getting that Cape House ready. We rented out to guests over the summer, and it's a lot of work getting it all ready after a winter of not doing that much. And kind of clumsy, and I dropped a toolbox on my toe. I think I shattered my front big toe on my right foot. Oh, front big toe. I had an avalanche come out of the back of the car. See, that's why I tried to pick an office job. I'm not that coordinated, to tell you the truth. I like to talk. I like to tell weather stories. The water is blue because it's a reflection of the sky, which is blue. Had some comments the other day during that thunderstorm how the water looks so angry because it was so dark. Well, that was because it was a reflection of the dark cloud. And now we get the blue sky and the blue water for many days. And I think much unlike last year, no smoke. Have you noticed that? No smoke. It's raining and snowing in Western Canada. And so that's what we have. Another thing to be grateful for. Anyhow, yesterday, getting out of Cape Cod and coming back home and just being so sad that no matter what I do, the rabbits get everything. They ate just about all my lettuce. I couldn't even find enough lettuce to make a salad yesterday. Use all those different repellents there. They don't work. Oh man, maybe got one pea plant left. So far the tomatoes and peppers and basil look okay. And I didn't check the rain gauge. So when we left on Friday, I was at about 0.48 and those multiple rounds got us up to 0.83. So the ground is wet now, but it's gonna be drying out. Who wants to come and water my garden while I'm away? All right, that's enough. And more from yesterday. Fireworks went off. Animals were not too pleased. Talk to you tomorrow. A different door. Stay tuned. I think he wanted to land on our dock. We distracted him. What's for breakfast?
There in the rocks.
Was it because of the thing broke? The chain broke?
Need new chain.
Really? That's what that was?
New chain every year.
Look at this.
Salt water.
Yeah.
So that road we went over earlier, Crab Creek, is right up through there.
Readings we get.
Yarmouth on the left, Dennis actually right over there. And here comes the sun. Apparently we've already got blue crabs around too. Gulls like them. I don't know how they get them. What's our tricorder say? Oh, yep, there it is. Water, pp, mb, h, pressure, temperature, pressure. We don't know what any of that means. I call to disorder this Arthur Walker Association meeting of 2024. Hope everyone's wearing sunscreen. And look at the new shirt entering Fallen Spawn.
I'll send you the link. I have a file I made.
No,
No, the name of the website.
Oh.
Arthur Walker Association.
I think it's.
You have to spell it all out. I think it's Arthur Walker.
And the t-shirts will be for sale on the website.
That's awesome.
Back to Weymouth, going back and forth. Almost a little chill in the air here with that northerly wind. But we are on a streak of just gorgeous Saturdays. Last Sunday wasn't too shabby, except for that 2-hour nor'easter. This Sunday's gonna be a lot better. This wind dies down. It's kind of chilly. Overnight tonight. How low did it go? I don't know. Traffic wasn't even that bad for a change. Coming back north. Look at this. I think I've been gifted another lawnmower. You never have too many lawnmowers, can you? Those fat tires. Oh yeah. Now, if I can just get someone to operate it for me. 8 o'clock. Wind is from the east as high pressure crests right over New England, setting up a beautiful moonlit night. Where's the moon? Really strawberry moon. Incredibly bright tonight. And dew point readings in the 30s. Mount Washington got down to 32. So I think we do have some record challenging cold out there. overnight tonight. Of course, you're watching this after the sun came up this morning. How'd that work out? And that boat lines up perfectly with the setting sun during the solstice. And it's that time of year. Steve and T-Rex, not big fans. Is that Bay Point? I think that's a private display. But you can really make out the low-level flow from the north and northeast. And T-Rex is under the bed, and Steve is just walking around in circles going, what is that? What is that? And we get the kids down the beach. This could be a long night.